Hello, Ibn Zakariyah. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the COGS, Chambers of Growth and Stability. And tonight we're going to be having Ibn Zakaria, and he'll be taking us through the topic being you on your journey to purpose. If you know Ibn Zakaria, you understand that this is not just a thing of, oh, I am just coming here to talk about something I've gone to research online. If you've read his books, if you are a follower, ardent follower of Ibn Zakaria, you know all of these things. But then he has his stories and the beautiful journey, and I am super excited to be the one to host you tonight. Let's get right into it. Kindly introduce yourself to the house and, give us all of the nuggets that we can't wait to have. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Beatrice. Thanks for having me. And I'm so happy to be here. It's exciting. I'm Zakaria Rashid Okpeyemi. I love people tell me my name is too long, but I love calling it like that. That Okpeyemi is it, but I love it. I'm Zakaria Rashid Okpeyemi. People know me as Ibn Zakaria. And I'm a graphic designer, a student of knowledge course. I'm a graphic designer, a coach, a team coach, leadership coach, and a public speaker. I love anything pertaining to personal development. Anything. And I'm so happy to be here and to be discussing this topic. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. Because I have a lot of stories to share with you. A lot. Right from my childhood. I could share the story right from my childhood. I actually remember my childhood days. I think when I was 3 and I was living alone with my mom and everything, I think my journey to being me started from there. My journey to being that stubborn boy, being that boy who would want to get things done, even when people tell him it's not what it is, useless. It started from there. All these things actually, looking back now, all these things helped me becoming who I am. So I'm always glad that I'm still very young and I've been able to discover a lot of things about myself. I've been able to conclude that I'm not going to be like anyone anymore. Okay, because it doesn't pay to be like anyone. It doesn't pay. So tonight, if you are listening to me, I also want you to make that decision. That after this session, you will start being you on your journey to purpose. You will start being you unapologetically. Because when you become you, or when you decide to be you discover your purpose easier and you become that thing you envision to become easier. In this world, I was speaking to someone yesterday, and I said that we actually have limited number of people creating the real thing. We have limited number of content creators. We have limited number of graphic designers. We have limited number of copywriters. We have limited number of public speakers. All the remaining numbers are copycats. That's what I told the person. I say this with confidence. Yes, I say it with confidence. Okay, but if I want to boast, permit me to, I can say I'm one of those few doing what I love doing, or doing the thing I'm doing because I want to do that thing. I wasn't forced to be this thing. I wasn't told that okay, you can be this thing. I decided to be that thing. I decided to be that thing myself. Okay, I discovered to be that thing myself, and it's amazing. But it's not enough to discover to be that thing yourself. How do you remain being that thing because you want to be that thing? See, your purpose is something that can be discovered and can be lost easily. It can be lost easily. You might want to become something, and your why is why you want to become that thing is because you love it initially. But then on your journey of becoming that thing, you see somebody doing something, that same thing, and you feel oppressed. No, many of you see it as inspiration. It is not inspiration, it is oppression. When you feel oppressed by somebody and you decide to start copying that person, now when that person posts, the next thing we see is you posting that same, you can sweat it all, or you post the same thing. When that person design, what you do is you design that same thing because you feel like it will take time to create your own design. It will take time to do your own thing. Why not just be like this person? That is the case with many people. Okay. So, uh, okay. So let's get back to me. So this is the story I love telling a lot. my journey to becoming a graphic designer. It was an amazing one because I decided to become this thing myself. I wasn't forced. Unlike,
Hello, Zakaria.
yeah, I'm with you.
Hello, Zakaria.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm with you. I can hear you loud and clear. Hello? I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear you anymore.
Can you hear me now?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
Yes, I can hear you now. I don't know if the network connection is a general issue. It seems like everyone is
Can
complaining
you
about it tonight. I can't hear you anymore.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I said
Hello?
hello. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can.
Okay, please continue with your session.
All right. Thank you. Okay, so I was talking about my journey to becoming a graphic designer. Okay, so it was one of the amazing moments in my life because I decided to be this thing because I love doing it. I love the arts. I was a science student, but I love creating things. I love being creative. I admire creative people. Okay, I admire creative people. So and before then, when I was in primary school, I used to create comic books. So when I decided to become a graphic designer, my first place of learning was a graphic design institute. A graphic design institute I would never recommend for anyone to go. Because if you finish graphic designing there and you go out claiming to be a graphic designer, I'm supposed to shoot you in the leg because you'll be claiming to be nonsense. Because I wasn't taught anything on how to become a graphic designer then. I was taught, which I'm grateful for, how to use the tools properly. But I wasn't taught how to be a graphic designer. So it was kind of choking for me when I started because the people I met there were always like the local champions. They would be the ones to show you things to do, and they would make you feel like, hey, you can do this thing, sha. And they would always tell me to go to YouTube, watch videos, replicate because that's what they do. They replicate videos. I see all of them on the system replicating logos, replicating banners. I'm like, what? But I never admired it. I never did. I don't know. Many people saw it as something amazing, but I never did because I thought this is not what I want to be. Because right from time before I become anything, I make my research. So when I started out, I knew what I wanted to be. I knew what I wanted to do. I joined communities online myself, even before I started learning. Because I want to just tell you that definitely there's supposed to be communities online now. So I joined. And that's how I do my things. Whenever I want to do something, I make thorough research. So when I started, it was like, well, okay, I'm sure I'm going to computer training. Nothing is coming out of it. So I had to travel to Ibadan to learn from my cousin. And it made me realize what it means to actually be a graphic designer. So the first mistake I made was taking knowledge from where they think they know the right thing, but they actually teach the wrong thing. Well, to them it is the right thing. I can't say it is wrong. Okay, I can't totally say it is wrong, but to me that is the wrong thing. To you, what they think they might be the right thing, you experience it. But to me, it is wrong because I know what I want, and that's how it should be. Know what you want. When you know what you want, it will be easy for you to easily say, no, this is the wrong thing. This person is saying the wrong thing. But you know the problem with many of us is we think we know what we actually want. But the truth is, the reality is we don't know. See, there is this thing about self-discovery. Self-discovery is very complicated. And when people talk about discovering themselves, I only few people discuss it and I'll be like, yeah, this person is saying the right thing. Because many people say it like you can just sit down in your room for 5 days, sit down in your room, go to work, and you will discover yourself. No, it's actually a tough task. It's very tough. It can be very tough, especially if you don't have somebody to put you through while growing up. Now, the problem you will face when you discover yourself, without discovering yourself to be yourself. Hey, I don't even get this. You can discover yourself. I discovered that I want to become a graphic designer, but during the process of becoming a graphic designer, I almost lost myself because I look up to people who do this thing very well, and I started copying them. I wanted to be like them. I did not want to become me anymore. I did not want to become the graphic designer I dreamt of being anymore. I wanted to become like somebody else. That is the mistake you would make. Okay, so when you say you discover yourself, how do you keep being you in your journey of being that person you've discovered to be? Okay, so when I learned from my cousin, okay, this is what graphic design is really is. It's not about going to YouTube and replicating designs and doing all that. It's made it very easy for me to start being the kind of graphic designer I wanted to be. But that's not all. I faced other challenges. I face this oppression from people. I face the challenge of I'm not good enough. You face that too. In my book, Being You on Purpose, I talked about this thing. I am having this low self-esteem. It will kill you. Low self-esteem will kill you, but it will happen to you. It's a normal thing. You will experience it. But if you cannot come out of it, it's going to kill you. It's going to murder you. Yes. Because it's a very strong thing. Having low self-esteem is like a devil that comes up to you and tell you that, hey, guy, don't talk there. Oh. They will laugh at you. Don't talk. That thing you do, shame for your mind, this thing makes sense. Sha. You want me to laugh at you, Abi? And then you decide to sit back. You're like, well, it doesn't make sense. Oh, yeah, let me go copy this person's design. That oh, I don't want to stress myself. That's how it sets in, and you stop being you. See, that's how it happens. And you stop withdrawing from being yourself. Okay, so some days you might feel like, and let me create something. And when you start again, that low self-esteem will creep in again. And you'll be like, oh, I'm not doing that. Let me stop. And sometimes you just decide not to do it again because you don't even get, maybe this thing is not meant for you. That was what happened to me. I stopped designing for like 3 months because I thought like, okay, maybe graphic design is not actually meant for you. I thought myself that, well, yeah, graphic design is not meant for you because, so I left my laptop. I did not open it for like 3 months. I just left it somewhere. And oh, this thing is not meant for me. It's too hard. You know, whenever I do this, people would criticize. There are people doing it better than I do, and I will sit down and be like, oh, can't I be like this person? So I stopped designing for like 3 months. I stopped designing for like 3 months. But what did I help me was I had people around, I had mentors. Yes, I had mentors, like 3 of them in that field, who I eventually ran up to and told them my problem. Like, I'm not feeling like myself anymore. I feel like I'm losing the knowledge, and I'm scared of even starting again because I think I won't be able to design anymore. And my mentor told me then, one of them told me then that you can decide to allow that fear to make you start, or you can decide to allow you to make you stop. See, in a section in my book, I think that's the first thing I talked about. I talked about fear. It's always been my principle. You can have a different opinion, but I think that's what it means to be you, to have your own opinion and to be able to defend it. If I'm going to have an opinion, I'll be able to defend it. And this is my opinion, and this is what I say. So what I wrote in that book was fear is not an enemy you can overcome. You cannot overcome fear. That's my opinion. You can never overcome fear because if you say you can overcome fear, why do you feel afraid before holding that mic again? when you've taken courses on public speaking, you've taken courses on how to build confidence. And a common quote says that confidence is not actually the absence of fear. It is you embracing that fear, okay, and doing what fear tells you not to do. So in my book, I wrote that when you are scared of something, you should do that thing because you don't get scared of what you cannot do. You only fear what you can do. Okay, you're on a track, you want to run, and you're scared that, hey, am I going to win it? That means you can win it. If you cannot win it, you will not be scared of winning it. See, when you come to me and be like, Rashid, write a copy for me, I will tell you I cannot write a copy. Because it's not my niche. I don't do it. I'm not scared. I'm not scared to say no because I don't do it. But if it comes to Rashid, I want a design. Do the design. Hey, hey. Let me bust a bubble. Behind every fine design you see made by me, it is maybe 50. That's not an exaggeration, that's the truth. Immediately you tell me you want a design from me, I've gone to Pinterest, I've gone to Behance, I've gone to Google, I've gone to Google to make researches because that fear will still come. Like, guys, show the design, look at what this person is showing you. Are you sure? That's how fear is. It will always come. As you grow, the fear will become bigger. As you grow, the fear will become bigger. But when you embrace it that, okay, fine, I know that fear will stay beside me throughout my journey. Now I have to embrace this. I have to embrace this fear and I have to do that thing. So I took my mentor's advice and I started again as a designer. I started becoming something I love doing. See, it is something I love doing. It's not something I'm doing because I wanted to do. So that's why I'm not talking about self-discovery. You've discovered yourself, but how do you remain to be you throughout that journey of discovering your purpose? Because your purpose is something, is a lifelong thing. See, in my life, I've discovered that I can be a great speaker, I can be a great listener, I can be an amazing writer. Yes, to my own best. I write content and I fall in love with my right thoughts. Like, it might not make sense the first time, but whenever I go back, I'm like, and people read and they take lessons from me because whenever I write and people tell me that I love your simplicity, I love the way your words are simple, I love your style of writing. I'm like, actually, I'm right now. Thank God, I love the line, it makes sense. So all those things, I discovered those things while discovering myself. So I did not just become all those things at the time. I did not become them at the time. But I embrace the fear that tells me that you cannot do this thing because that fear, gong gong, is the motivation that should push you to do that thing. You want to disgrace fear. Like, who be your papa? I feel do this thing, make I do it. Okay, so fear is there. See, okay, now let me give a close example. If you don't get my grammar, just like the devil is always there to tell you that guy, hey, see that meat wey dey inside that pot, go steal am, chop am. And in your mind, God gave us the ability to decide to follow the devil or not. Permit me to quote an ayah from the Quran. In the day of judgment, Shaitan will tell Allah that anybody in that I am free from you. I don't know anything. You decide to do it on your own, because I fear God. That's I can compare fear to the devil because the fear is there. Fear is not the one that is going to stop you. It is your decision to either give in to fear or call fear. I'm your master. I'm going to do this thing. And because I want to prove you wrong, that I'm not scared of you, I'm going to do it. So that's what I did. I did it. I became a graphic designer. I started creating my own stuff. But still, it wasn't still easy. It is not going to be easy. Even after you've learned from the right source, you've decided to start. You are still going to, you've decided to start. You've been able to embrace that fear that hinder you from continuing doing what you love doing. Okay, I'm talking about what you love doing. Okay. In the previous session, they've discussed someone has discussed self-discovery. So this is like, let me say, like a continuation of that session. I'm not talking about self-discovery. Okay. So if you have not discovered yourself, you need to listen to that previous session. All right. Okay. So I kept on doing this, and I was still scared because there were still great people like Ajala Victor in NGD. There was this guy too, Mr. Hulu, Affix Graphics, a lot of them. Um, Me, I dey mute my status o. If I wan post design, I will mute all of them. Like 20 designers on my list, I will mute them because I was scared. If they saw my work, they would. Some of them would laugh at me. I observe people a lot. I observe that many of these, only few of them care to actually make you feel better. See, let me tell you a blunt truth. A blunt truth. Take this from me. Out of 20 coaches, Out of 20 coaches, only 5 would be ready to listen to you. That's a fact. See, I'm not trying to claim saints here or try to make myself feel like, oh, I'm a good coach, I'm special. But the truth is, these people are too busy sometimes. They are too busy chasing the ISI that they will forget about you in the grassroots. So some of them, because there was this guy sometimes that I entered his DM, he had this free mentorship. He told me to message him. I messaged him. I messaged him. He told me I messaged him. So I messaged the other day, early momo, early momo. I messaged him. He gave me time. I messaged him the other day. He told me that why would I message him this early? Ah, okay. So he gave me time. So I messaged him that time. Unless he's going to reply tomorrow. I'm still giving him the excuse that maybe he has not seen the message. But since then, he has mentored a lot of people. He has mentored a lot of people. After I've messaged him, he did not accept to mentor me. Okay, he did not accept me as his mentee, but I looked up to him a lot. I looked up to him. Like, I love this guy, I love his designs. But recently, this year, this guy liked my design, my brand identity project. I ran to my best friend DM and be like, guy, oh, my creator likes my design. I don't blow. That, see, all these things, I will tell my children. Oh, so all these things pushed me that, no, this person is not ready to help me. Cut him off. I don't need him. Then let me look for someone else who is going to help me. So I have this guy. If you know him, tell him I mentioned his name tonight. King Rashid Bello, KRB Digital. This guy, he was the only person I did not meet. I meet him once in a while, though, and I feel like, hey, God will insult me because this design, I'm not confident about it. But he was the only one that he would see my design. He would tell me that the background is too dark. You should use the dark background. Even if you are using the brand color, try to use a darker background. Your alignment, why not make it well aligned? Okay, you know you are using this for a purpose. Make it well aligned. Your logo, make it small. It shouldn't be too big. And today, I post my designs confidently. This guy doesn't comment bad things. He would rather like my designs and follow up on my project whenever I post it. He encourages me. And whenever I want to mention my success story in graphics, I would always mention it because this guy helped me. He was so down to earth. Like, he would always criticize my designs, and I would go back to my system immediately, my laptop, and edit it and send it back to him. Like, yes, you are doing well. This is great. Okay. So he was there for me. So I was talking about many coaches not caring about you. Oh, that's the truth. Don't let me lie for you. It's not as if they are bad people. No. Many people, okay, many people are not born to be teachers, or many people are not trained teachers. See, I've gone through many trainings in my life, and I'm always proud to say this, that some things many people would claim to be, I've actually gone through the training. When I was in primary school, I started teaching when I was in primary two, yes. Because I remember then in my previous school, whenever the teacher is not around, he would hand over the class to me as the class professor. So I could recite the textbook, the primary two reading book. Okay. To know that I actually memorized it. I could recite it offhand. You know, it was this red cover, it had red color. That's where we had I think no, is that where we had the monkeys or where we have from Ali and friends and all that? So I had everything in my head that whenever I stand in front of the class, I would recite it to them. And it was always fun. So some teachers would come and be like, wow. So they were always amazed at my intellectual prowess. So I could handle the class even when the teacher is not. Sometimes I chop came because I'm always scared to write name of non-makers. So when I got to my other school, when I was in primary four, I started teaching, even my seniors. My English teacher would take me there to teach them English. Yes. I would mark their attendance, I would record their scores, and the lowest I could score in English was 59. The day I scored 58 over 60 in English language, I was beaten like I stole fish from a poor man. I was beaten, like the man slapped me on the assembly. That was when my sister like said you and you call yourself a leader. I was in primary six then. Because even then, when I was in primary six, regardless of whether the assembly prayer was still around, the teachers would leave me at the front to lead the assembly. So all these experiences, like I had all this training all through my life. I had them at an early stage in my life. So I cannot even forget them because mo jẹ gbá. So I know what it is like to criticize someone and make them feel better. I know what it is like to train someone and make them understand what you are teaching them. Because my English teacher then, Mr. Blasi Someone, that man taught me to become someone great. And I'm always proud whenever I remember that this man made me feel like I'm worthy because where I was coming from, people made me feel like I was useless. That's what happened to me too when I continue my journey. Now, I've started, but some people would look at you and be like, they can't create time for you. Some people will say it. Some coaches will say it. They claim to be coaches, they claim to be senior men in this aspect, but they will say it and laugh at you as beginners. Maybe they take it as a joke. But this thing can hinder you from moving on. It has hindered many people from moving on because the person you look up to is not making you feel worthy. I told you someone I look up to decided not to mentor me. I was sad though for like 1 week. Whenever I still remember now, I'll be like, well, thank God I've grown. If not, because anytime I go to Facebook, I want to see his post. I would always love, till now, I still love his works. I always drop a like, I drop a comment because I love that guy. I still do. Okay, so I'm sorry for my story. Okay, but I believe you get my point. Like even when you've embraced the fear, it will get to a point where you feel like, oh, I cannot showcase the world what I'm doing. All right. So in another part of my book, I talked about self-awareness. Self-awareness. When you are aware of yourself, you know that this thing, I can do this thing, I cannot do this thing, right? I knew that I could become a graphic designer because I've embraced the fear that is hindering me to start. The first thing is to embrace that fear. I've embraced the fear and I've started my journey. So I started becoming aware of myself that okay, this is the kind of graphic design I can do. Now let me do this. Let me keep on building on this. When you are aware of yourself, you can actually build on something you know that you are good at. So becoming aware of myself made me realize that I had weaknesses. I had weaknesses. I had strengths. I had strengths. Things I was very good at, and I built on those strengths. And today I can say that my designs are very unique. My style of creativity is very unique. I don't copy anybody. It is when you are not aware of yourself that okay, this is what I can do, this is not what I can do, that you would feel scared of showcasing your work. You will feel scared of showcasing your work because you are not actually doing your own work. You are doing somebody else's work. I don't think you get. You are doing someone else's work. You are not doing your own work. You are copying. That's
Yeah.
what you are doing. Okay, but when you are aware of yourself that this is what I'm very good at. Okay, I gave an example in my book. I said I have two instances of a boy who knows that he's good at this thing. All right, he's good at this thing, and he acquires the fact that he's good at this thing, and he keeps on building on that thing. He does not try to be someone else. And I give another example. That example is me. When I was in secondary school, I thought I was aware of myself. In my senior year, when I was in senior secondary school, I was this guy who tried to be perfect and expected everyone to be like that too. I actually thought I was perfect. I thought I was. Of course, you know, I dressed fine. My black sandals, my sandals were special, specially made. I had two sandals that were specially made. My uniform always neat, the white and the gray, always neat. I was this charismatic person, you know. So many people actually admired the way I was, the way I walk, the way I talk. Many people admired the way I talk. But to me, when I look at people and I look at them, I say, if you are dressing, I just like, why does this one dress like this? I, I, I thought that they should be perfect because I thought I was. So I thought I was aware of myself. That's what's going to happen to you. If you think you know what you actually are and you try to be everywhere. So I try to be everywhere. I always jump around. When given a task, you know, I would have done it. So when the teacher come and be like, how far, Rashid, how far? As the people done that, I'm like, oh, I've done it already. I would be in school very early. I would sweep all the classrooms, sweep the corridor, even when I was not supposed to do it. I was supposed to give the orders. But I hate people doing something, even if they're going to do it. The teacher will now come and be like, how did you sweep this place like it's morning? Because I still didn't want to take the blame. So I hated taking blames. So I would rather do it myself. So I did all these things and I thought I was aware of myself. And you know now, I was the perfect guy. I was the perfect guy. And I did not care whether people like me or not. But until I met people who told me that, guy, you are just being stubborn. This is not who you are. There's somebody, there's somebody nice within. There's somebody that is not so. strict within you. But this thing took me time. Oh. After I left secondary school and I experienced depression, I was depressed for like 6 months. It was after then I actually discovered that, guy, you've been living a fake life. You've not been living as yourself. And I discovered that I've actually been living, okay? I've actually been living like um, the people I see, okay? I see great people and I envision them as being perfect and they are untouchable. So I thought I wanted to be like that. So I had this delusion in my head. I was delusional until my friend told me that day. I cried because a hard guy, and I'm telling me that I have a soft spot in my so a soft spot in my heart. It was after then I discovered, okay, guy, okay, this is the kind of person you actually are. This is what you're actually good at. All those paths you've lived are fake life. That's not who you are. Okay, and I embrace my weaknesses. I knew that, okay, this is who I am. This is what I should not try to be. So you cannot tell me to form hard guy. I tell my students that I'm not that kind of coach that would be hard on you because that's not who I am. I can't be so strict. That's not who I am. And I always tell my prospective spouses that, okay, as parents, I can't be so strict with our children because I'm not that kind of person. I can shout at you, and the next moment I'll still play with you. That's the kind of person I'm not so strict, and I don't like being strict because that's not who I am. So I do my things differently, and sometimes people be like, "Guy, are you sure you are from this world?" Because I always have difference of opinion. I always, when people say something, I can have a contrary opinion. Like, I don't think that should actually be that way. You could actually do it like this. I'll be like, well, I would do it like that because that's me. That's what I've discovered to be. So I don't copy people. I stopped copying people a long time ago. So in your journey of being you, you should start being you. Know yourself. Be aware of yourself. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know what you are good at, know what you are good at, but you should not be. This always confuses people. It always confuses people. Like, whenever I say know what you are good at, you can do it, but you should not be that thing. Hey, see, as humans, we have some limitations. We might think we can be everywhere. See, people will tell you what you think you can be. Yes, that's true. I don't dispute it. But sometimes what you think you cannot be, oh, if you try to be, you break yourself. You will break yourself when you try to be that thing. Okay, let me give you an example. I'm a graphic designer. I'm a public speaker. Sometimes people come to my DM and be like, "Come and teach me copywriting." Ah, hey, I can be a copywriter, but I don't want to be one. I don't like. I've taken copywriting courses, a lot of them, but I cannot be a copywriter because I know that no, this is not who I am. Okay, I don't like this thing, but I can do it. No, when I write copy sometimes, people will be like, "And you say you know the copywriter, come teach me this thing." I'm like, "No, I'm not the copywriter. I beg, I'm not." But I will claim that I'm a graphic designer, a professional one at that, because I can be. Have discovered to be that, and I'm being that. But copywriting, I can be a copywriter, but I am not a, because I know that in the long run, I will eventually stop being it. It's something I love to do. I admire copywriters, but I know I cannot be this thing. That's the first thing. Know what you can be, but you shouldn't be. Because if I should be a copywriter, I will regret. I will disappoint a lot of people. You cannot put me on my toes. I will not be writing something for like 3 weeks because I want to create the perfect copy. God forbid. No, you know. So that's the problem with many people. They think they can be this thing. I can be it now. They'll jump into it. You start doing it. No, you can be that thing, but you should not be that thing. It will break you. You would regret. Yes, you would regret being that thing in the future. You would disappoint yourself. That's the first thing. Then you should know what you cannot be. See, there are things you cannot be. Don't let anyone tell you that you can be everything. Okay? I always say you can be many things, but you can never be everything. So when you know that you can be many things, you focus on the things you can be. See, I have a list of the things I am, and I'm always proud that I am this thing. And sometimes when people ask me that, like, how did you learn to do all these things? I will tell them that I started learning from a very early age. So if you say you want to become like me, then maybe you should start learning now. In 20 years' time, you would have gotten the kind of experiences I have. If you start now, because I started my own early, very early. Okay, right from my childhood, when I was in primary two, I was trained to be a leader right from primary two. So I'm not talking about just being a class captain. No, the kind of schools I attended, you would actually be trained. Like you walk side by side with the teachers, you work with the teachers, and you would handle real life situations. So you have to think like a mature person. No, but I think you might do that. Mo jẹ gbájú, different things. Okay, I was slapped in public. I was disgraced because I could not fulfill my duty. I was in primary four. I did not expect to have such responsibility. The seniors are there. Why make me one of the prefects in primary four? I did not need that. But I was trained to be all these things. Okay, so I was trained to be a leader right from my primary two. Now, you don't have that experience. If you claim to be a leadership coach, if you claim to be a leadership coach, you might teach people nonsense. See, I always tell people this. So there are some things you cannot be, okay? You cannot be that thing. That's why when many people are given responsibilities, leadership responsibilities, it breaks them easily. I gave one of my students, I gave her a project to work on. She came back to me and was like, when I came back on, because I lost my phones during those times, I saw a message like, into Zakariyah, you are the only one that can make this thing work. Oh, I'm tired already. She was tired. I made her control team. I made her work with people. I made her the team lead. And it was stressful for her because she was like, this is overwhelming. She cannot cope. These people are not listening. I like, you have to make them listen. That's why you are there. I was trying to become a public speaker when I was in secondary school. I had to face over 5,000 people. I attended a public secondary school. That's my junior secondary school. I had to face over 5,000 people, and I was trained to have authority over them. I learned this authority from my vice principal there, Alaja Aremu Kofoshi. I can never forget her name. The woman, when she stands at the gate, you will see students running to the assembly ground. If you hear that Alaja is at Igbolerin, you see students running down to the assembly ground because if she should see you, if she should glance you from a distance, I don't know the kind of eyes she has, but Alaja can stand in front of the assembly and she will look back. The last person on the line, she will call you, call your surname, and you'll be like, how did she even know me? I just got into the school 2 days ago. I was shocked the day she called my mom. I was in JS1. She called my mom and told my mom that money you, I told you that. My mom was like, how did she know you? I was like, you've never even talked before. I was always scared of her. So I was trying to face over 3,000 people. Now, you that you now have that kind of training, you say you can do it because people tell you can be anything, right? Hey, see, don't get me wrong. You can actually be what you've discovered to be. If you discover that you can do this thing, you can do it. If you learn to be that thing. But I still stand on my opinion that you can never be everything. You can only be many things. Okay, you can be many things. You can be a graphic designer, you can be a copywriter at the same time, you can be a creative writer, you can be a public speaker, you can be a fashion designer. Okay, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a writer, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, and I do all these things without anyone hindering another. Because I've learned how to be all these things, and whenever I do them with excellence. Okay, I do that with excellence without trying to be anybody else. I respect other people's opinion, but I try to be myself. So the bottom line is in your journey of um, discovering your purpose, on your journey to purpose, be yourself. Do not be anyone else. And take note of this point I've given you. Embrace your fear. You cannot overcome your fear. Embrace it. Let it be that thing that will motivate you to do that thing your mind tells you you cannot do. Learn from the right people. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Know the things you can be, but you shouldn't be. Know the things you can be and you should be. Know the things you cannot be. Okay? So when you learn all these things, I believe there are a lot of things to talk about, but I don't want to bore you with talk and I don't want to waste time here. So when you do all these things, if you'd love to read my book, Being You on Purpose, you can send me, you can connect with me, you can have access to the book. When you learn to do all these things and you embrace yourself, you would start being you without feeling remorse, without feeling apologetic to anybody. And the last thing I will tell you is you are amazing. You are an amazing individual. When you know that you are amazing, you tell yourself every morning that I'm amazing, I'm great, I'm worthy, I'm beautiful. See, I would have not said that. There is no time. Okay. One of the challenges I faced while growing up is I thought I was ugly. You can call me ugly, but to me, I'm handsome. To myself now, I'm a fine boy. Call me whatever you want to call me. But to me now, the little Zakaria I know now is very handsome. And I'm some people's spec. But so I had these challenges when I was growing up too. I would look at the mirror and slap myself like, sure, how ugly bad. I saw ugly. And it made me feel less of myself. Okay. But I've overcome that stage now. I can stand anywhere, proud of myself, proud of my vulnerability, proud of my weaknesses, and I embrace my strengths like I should. And I do the things I love doing without feeling remorse, without apologizing for being me. And you should do that too. When you start doing all this, you would remain you throughout your journey to purpose. Okay, it is one thing to discover your purpose, it is another thing to remain being you without falling into the I am not enough trap, without falling into the I am little trap. So I tell you again, you are amazing, you are great, you are wonderful. Thank you for having me. It's been amazing with you guys. Thanks for listening. Um,
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so, so, so much. That was like avalanche of knowledge. You you decided to open the floodgate. Wow, thank you so, so much. And I can see the people are here giving us the green emoji, all the family of Mr. Green. We can see you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Mariam, Adia Tula.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Realized from this discussion. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but not clearly.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't hear you anymore. Okay,
Yes. Okay.
I can hear you now.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Zakaria?
I can hear
Hello,
you.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
What?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I've been waiting to hear your voice. I can't hear you. What did you say?
I said I can hear you. I'm with you. Can you hear me now?
Okay, so I said you gave us an avalanche of knowledge and okay, it's been so beautiful. I had to put off my video because the network was just tripping off if I should switch on my video for too long. The bandwidth is not that good enough. But that's great. That's good. I want to say a very big thank you. You see, I was just, trying to just assimilate. Oh God. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Yes. I'm
What
with
did you
you.
say?
I said I can hear you. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me now? I can't hear you anymore.